For most, this is the time that the NBA playoffs are starting to step into primary focus, but realistically, not every team has an actual chance of making noise in the postseason. With the regular season coming to an end, a lot of teams are already shifting their focus to the offseason, where some big moves already seem to be in the works, which is what Bleacher Report tackled in one of their recent articles. In this article, they proposed 4 blockbuster trade ideas that are already being thought about by the teams involved. So as always, I'm going to go through each one, analyzing whether or not they make sense, why or why not the teams involved would want to do it, and who benefits the most from it. Before we start though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I'd also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first proposal from the article is between the New Orleans Pelicans and the Atlanta Hawks, where the Pelicans received Dejounte Murray and Bogdan Bogdanovic in exchange for Brandon Ingram and Jordan Hawkins. It's rare that we see a straight 2-for-2 swap involving only players and no draft picks, but Bleacher Report feels as though this addresses some key needs for both sides with a close to equal exchange of talent. I'll say that I see the logic behind it, but I don't think the framework as currently constructed is enough to get it across the finish line. The Pelicans are a solid playoff team right now, who could be a dark horse to make some noise in the postseason, and they've finally got Zion Williamson surviving a full season healthy. Zion is playing some outstanding basketball over the last month, and if that continues in the playoffs, then he once again becomes the guy that the Pelicans want to build around because he is that special of a talent. Right now, if there's one thing the Pelicans are clearly missing, it is a point guard, because they've got CJ McCollum playing out of position running point at the moment, since he is naturally more of a scoring combo guard, and off the bench, Jose Alvarado, who is good in short spurts, but not necessarily a starting point guard. Dejounte Murray is clearly an upgrade over what they have, and would also be better served in a place where he can be a full-time point guard instead of having to share the duties with Trae Young, but giving Brandon Ingram up for it is a tough sell for me. Yes, Ingram's individual scoring output this year is the lowest that it's been since he joined the Pelicans 5 years ago, but it's been more as a way to sacrifice for the sake of winning and sharing the ball than it has been because of him struggling, which he has not been. Dejounte Murray also hasn't proven he can produce at the same level he has in a winning environment, so while the Pelicans should be in the market for a point guard, I don't think they should pay this big of a price to get one, because Brandon Ingram is still at the core of what they do. The next proposal from the article is between the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets, where the Knicks receive Mikal Bridges in exchange for Julius Randle, 2 first-round picks, and 2 second-round picks. Ever since the Knicks started putting together the Villanova reunion, the talk of the town has been how they need to get Mikal Bridges to complete it, and of course Bridges is the type of player you just know Tom Thibodeau would love to get his hands on, since he never really gets injured and is able to play big minutes every game. He's a sensational defensive talent who has really started to come into his own as a scorer over the last few seasons too, and all of that screams New York Knicks on paper. With that being said though, this is still a really lopsided trade in the favor of the Nets, and it would be crazy for the Knicks to go through with something like this. Like, believe me, I'm the furthest thing from a Julius Randle truther, but are we even sure that Bridges is a better player than Randle, let alone good enough to force the Knicks to have to attach a ton of draft capital to the deal alongside Randle to acquire him? This was Bridges' first season as a go-to guy for a team, and he showed that he could not handle that kind of workload, scoring fewer than 20 points per game despite his massive usage and opportunity, and Cam Thomas ended up overtaking him as the top scoring option on that team. Julius Randle is a multiple-time member of the All-NBA team, giving you better production than Bridges across the board, and the Knicks desperately need his scoring at their best. Obviously, Randle has a history of melting down in the postseason, but I don't see Bridges' defensive boost being so much more significant to overcome Randle's necessary scoring output. This trade honestly feels like a swap of superior talent for better vibes, and when you say it out loud like that, it's crazy to even consider for the Knicks. The next proposal from the article is between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Cleveland Cavaliers, where the Lakers receive Donovan Mitchell in exchange for Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Jalen Hood-Schifino, and 2 first-round picks. The Donovan Mitchell rumors just won't go away no matter how much Cavaliers fans want them to, and according to Bleacher Report reporter Eric Pincus, most in NBA circles believe that unless the Cavaliers make a run to the finals, Mitchell is going to decline a contract extension offer from the Cavaliers and explore free agency in 2025. And if he does that, then the Cavaliers fully plan to move him before he can leave in free agency for nothing in return. This is a big upcoming postseason for the future of the Cavs, for obvious reasons, but if Mitchell's heart is set on going elsewhere, then the Lakers are an intriguing landing spot. There was once a point where it seemed as though LeBron was going to leave, but now all signs point to LeBron James' time in LA being extended for a few more years, and as always, the Lakers will be looking for ways to keep the team in contention around him. They were hoping Austin Reeves could make a star-caliber leap this season, but despite him still being a solid player, he just has not made that leap, and if they can upgrade him to Donovan Mitchell, they'll do it in a heartbeat. For the Cavs, they will also need to realize that they won't have much leverage in trade talks, with Mitchell being on an expiring contract, and with the entire rest of the league being aware that he's leaving anyway. So while Mitchell's talent should warrant a better offer in theory, that context makes this a pretty damn good return all things considered. The Cavaliers can continue to stay in the mix with Reeves, Hachimura fits perfectly into their defense-first identity, and Hood-Schifino is an interesting raw young prospect to take a swing on, along with 2 first-round picks being the icing on the cake. So honestly, this is one of the more enticing offers proposed today. And finally, the last proposal from the article is between the Orlando Magic and the Atlanta Hawks, where the Magic receive Trae Young in exchange for Anthony Black, Jett Howard, Jonathan Isaac, and 2 first-round picks. Earlier, we saw a proposal featuring Trae Young's teammate, but if the Hawks really want to start over, then it doesn't seem like Trae Young is off the table in trade talks either, right now, and the Orlando Magic might be the most underrated landing spot for him of all. The Magic are a young, hungry group breaking out in a big way this season, and have built their newfound success on the defensive side of the ball. Most of their best young players are guys that can get it done on both ends of the floor, as Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, and Jalen Suggs all play sound team defense, and overall the Magic are the 3rd best defense in the league. The problem though is that out of every team this year that will make the playoffs, the Magic have the worst ranked offense of the bunch, and their inability to consistently score the basketball, especially in big moments, very well could be their downfall. That's exactly why they would love to bring someone in like Trae Young, who can single-handedly ignite an offense and boost them near the top of the league, as the Hawks have been a top 10 offense in each of the last 3 years with him running the show. The Magic have a supporting cast that can help overcome Young's defensive woes, since they've already established a tremendous defensive identity throughout the rest of their lineup. Jonathan Isaac is one of the best defenders in the NBA right now, but he's coming off the bench, and Anthony Black and Jett Howard are both lottery picks from a year ago that a tanking team like the Hawks could be, would be intrigued to tap into. The only thing that might hold things up is the amount of draft capital involved. Based solely on the value other teams have gotten for superstar talent over the last few years, 4 first-round picks seems to be the baseline, with 3 first-round picks being involved in the trade being a lenient price. So I'm not sure if 2 first-rounders is enough to land Trae Young like they propose here, but it is at least on the right track. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about these proposed trades. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.